Hello and welcome to Coding Basics with JavaScript. My name is James. I'm the lead instructor of the full-time class at DevPoint Labs. This course is meant to be a basic course into the concepts of coding, and we're going to be using JavaScript. So a couple prereqs for this. You really don't even need them, but I'll be using VS Code, that's the editor you see here. And then I'll also be using Node. So if you want to install Node, you just need to go to their website, node.js.org, and then download the version that's recommended for most users. If you want to download Visual Studio Code, then you can just go to the VS Code website and download this. Now, there's another option that you can use if you're having issues with this. You can use this website called repel.it or replit.com. So for this, you just log in or create an account, and then you can create a new, it's called REPL, and do it in Node.js. And this is going to allow you to follow along on here. So you could do simply just follow along here, write your JavaScript here. Run it. But if you notice, it is can be a little slow. It's not horribly slow, but that's why I'm going to use VS Code. But just wanted to get that option. So let's get to it. So just this video is just a quick intro into JavaScript. We're going to be very brief, just go over some key points here. So JavaScript is just a coding language. It's where we can write some code. How do you do that? Well, if you're in VS Code, there's a couple different ways. The first thing I'm going to do is in VS Code, I'm going to go to I always do this with the key command, so I forget the terminal, and then I'm going to open up this new terminal window. Cool. So this is going to put me in the directory where I created this file. So if I want to run a JavaScript file, I can open up the terminal and I can run node. And now I'm in a Node console, which is just a JavaScript console. So now I can type JavaScript. And in JavaScript, what can I do? Well, with all programming languages, you can do math. I can add numbers. I can times number. The asterisks, I can do divisions with a backslash. I can minus numbers. I can have something that's called variables. We'll get into variables. So I can store a number into a variable, and then I can do math on that variable. Something that we'll see with programming languages. So far I've just been using numbers. There's other kinds of data. There's something called a string. And a string you can think of as just a sequence of characters. And I can throw that into a variable as well. Now I have this variable called str. If I enter, that's equal to string. So with a variable, I can see if it equals a particular value. Does my string equal this hard-coded value hello? That is true. Does it equal hello with a bang? That's false. We also see these are different things we have. We have true and false. So we have what's called Booleans. Another thing we do in programming is a lot of times we want to have a list of things. So I can create what's called an array. So I could have maybe a list of numbers. And then inside of here, Now I can access one of those items. We'll get into how we access later when we talk more about arrays, but I can go in and I can access those items. I can push items on the array, so I can add more. I can remove stuff. So it's just like you would think of as a normal list, you know, where you can add stuff, you can remove stuff. We could sort this, and we'll definitely get into that. So this is one way I can write JavaScript, is just in what's called the node terminal. Now to get out of here, I'm going to say .exit. Now I'm out of that video or out of that terminal. Another way I can write, and maybe I'll just delete this just to show you. Another way I can create or I can run JavaScript is I can create a file. Let's call this intro. So the important part here is that I end it with the .js extension. So I create a JavaScript file and I call it intro. And now I can do things like math, but I'm going to have a hard time seeing this. So what we can use is what's called a console.log. This is just going to log to the console down here. So to run this, I'm going to use my node terminal command and then the name of my file. And there we go. Console.log 1+1, and it's logging to the console too. I could come in here, I could log a string. Come in here, I could log in an array. And so forth. So the nice thing, and this is how we're going to be doing it, we're going to be doing it in a file, because now I can, come in here, I can start declaring some variables, I can do some math on that. And I can log it to see the result. So here I have a variable called age, and then I'm reassigning the variable to age to equal whatever the age is +1, and then I'll log it. And then that's 22. So we're going to go a lot more into detail. This is just a brief intro, kind of a little getting set up and getting situated. So in the next video, we're going to talk about variables. See you there.